I don't even know what song it's, but let's go. Ah, yeah, 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 day-to-day life. Rabbis, people day-to-day life, they tend to get normal. You get normal so the world pulls you down. It pulls you down. That's the idea of gravity. Gravity pulls you down. Also gravity pulls you down to the grave. Gravity. And it also makes a person grave. Grave means to be like sad. Grave situation. But that's why people frown, they frown. Even I heard somewhere that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Is that true?
That's what I heard too.
I don't believe it. Could be, I don't know.
Because the most muscles work to keep it uptight. So they're stronger. But
more muscles or more energy.
So if you want to put it down, you have to have more muscles which are developed.
Could be, okay. Whatever it is, nature gets a person down. Well, makes a person feel pessimistic, low. It makes a person feel natural, and it makes a person feel small. He's alone in the world. Shtus to kedusha, insanity, crazy holiness. Crazy holiness means that you realize that Hashem is always with you. And that you're very happy that Hashem likes you and He's giving you life all the time. And He's not creating you just to stick pins in you. But when there are difficulties, so a person has to realize that there are challenges. There are questions to be answered. There are, how do you say, situations that he has to overcome. If no other way than just with his good attitude. And let God take care of it, whatever He can. There are Jewish people, unfortunately, have suffered terribly through the history of the world, but here we are. We're still Jewish people. And it's true that bad things have happened, but there's many, many more good things that have happened.
When?
Huh? Always. Every second. Constantly, Hashem is keeping people alive. When a person loses money, he forgets the fact that he didn't lose his... I told you fellas about this Madoff thing, didn't I? Madoff? A woman I saw on the internet. Not that I'm advertising the internet, but I happened to see on the internet that a woman said, "I am grateful to Madoff." If you don't know who Madoff is a massive
Jewish guy.
Crook. He happened to be Jewish guy also.
Scapegoat.
There's also non-Jewish crooks. There's a system. And he was a massive crook, and he took all these people who were really rich people who really thought they knew that they had Lifetown, and they had millions and millions of dollars, and he stole it all. They don't even know what happened to it. Oh, I think maybe he got it hidden away somewhere. They don't know. Anyway, for sure he can't use it because he's in jail for the rest of his life. But he stole people, wiped people out. That one woman I saw, she said, "I am grateful to Madoff." So I figured, what could this possibly be? I clicked and I saw, she said, "He stole all my money, he stole everything. Me and my husband, everything that we worked for our whole lives. We're going to lose our apartment, we're going to be out on the streets." So, but I have to admit that I'm grateful to him. Why? Because when I realized that he had stolen all of our money, and that we were wiped out totally, And so I started to get very depressed. I started first of all thinking about all that money and how I made the money, how much energy I put into the money, how many nights I didn't go to sleep, how many arguments I had with people, how I worked hard and I had to go to university, and how I worked to get the jobs, and there was competition and difficulties, and how I thought about the money day and night and worked, and all of a sudden the whole thing just gone.
Yes.
Not only me, my husband also. Her husband is also, a professor, knows what he was. How much energy and how much striving and how many battles they had to fight day to day, hour to hour to make that money and to save it up. And all of a sudden everything was gone. She said, I thought about that. All of a sudden then, she thought about the future. What's going to be with us? I don't have any money. What's going to be? Where are we going to be? Where are we going to go? We're going to have to be paupers. I didn't have anything positive to think about. And she started going crazy. She said, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I couldn't talk to anybody. I was going mad, I was just wandering around talking to myself, saying these incoherent things. So suddenly I thought to myself, listen, this Madoff has done enough damage to me already. He's taken my past, he's taken my future, but he can't take me. He can't take my soul. That I'm doing myself. I can control my attitude. I got to think about something positive. What am I going to do? I couldn't go to a psychiatrist. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. I couldn't go to any. So all of a sudden the idea came into my mind. How much money did I have in the bank? I had $3 million in the bank. If I had to pay $3 million to save my eyes, let's say I was going blind, wouldn't I pay $3 million? Yeah, so I paid the $3 million. I didn't have to make an operation. I have my eyes. So what if I had to make an operation on my ears? I wouldn't have any money. I would have spent it all on my... Here I've got ears. I didn't have to make an operation. I didn't have to spend any money. So now that I have legs, I can stand up. I have mouth. I can talk. I have a tongue. So now look at all the things that I see with my eyes. I can see a sunset. I can see my children. I can see my grandchildren. I can see the sky. I can see myself. I can see my husband. I can see people smiling, children smiling. Think of the things I can hear. I can hear music. I can hear birds chirping. I said, all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I started appreciating life. I said, all the time before, everything was my money. Money was my God. It was my past. It was my future. It was my strength. It was my joy. It was my being. It was my personality. It was everything. I said, all of a sudden, she said, I hope that Madoff stays in jail for a million years, and I hope he rots in hell. But I have to say, I'm thankful to him. He opened up my mind, made me think of positive things. It's a terrible way to do it, but a lot of times that's what it takes. A person is put into a situation, and sometimes, the classic stories about the truck that falls down on the grandma's, grandchild. 2-year-old child, all of a sudden grandma, throws away her crutches and lifts up the truck with one hand, pulls the child out. Where'd you get this power from? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But all of a sudden she's better. Suddenly, sometimes when people are put into difficult situations, and suddenly they realize that their whole life they've been sleeping. They've been into a little cocoon of egotism, a little bubble of their own egotism with their own little money and their own little life. And, the doctors say you're sick, so I'm sick. People say I'm stupid, Terrible. So here we see that sometimes even the worst things, God should make it that we didn't have to have any bad things, but sometimes the worst things are the best for us. And the Rebbe said that the worst thing in the world, the biggest torture that we should feel is happening all the time, is that there's Jews that don't know anything about Judaism. And that should make us feel bad. It should make us feel pressured and fetched. Right? More than this lady felt about saving her own life, her soul, because she lost all her money. She think, hey, there's all these Jews in the world that lost their identities. It should make us feel bad. We should try to do something about it. Some people, what they do is they lock themselves into the synagogues or into their places of learning or into their towns, and they make big walls around them. They dress different than everybody else so that they don't lose it themselves, which is okay. That's what they want to do. But here the Rebbe is saying, if you want to change the situation, first of all, you have to know that you can change the situation. And you can change the situation is you have to be crazy. And being crazy means you have to go out of yourself. I don't know, I told you this yesterday, but they're putting out the film, and I tell you this. 2 people came to my house yesterday. I told you.
You told me.
Yeah, I told you. 2 people came to my house yesterday. One was a delivery boy, came on a motor scooter. Somebody sent something to me. Someone sent something, someone sent a donation. They put it inside of an envelope, and he sent it by a special courier. It came to my house, because he doesn't trust the post office, or whatever. Even though the post in Israel was
Maybe it was a big donation or something.
It was okay. But people who sent big money to these. Anyway, so he sent this. So the guy came in. First of all, I said to him, he said, "Where's your house?" So I said, "It's a house and it's got a flag on it." He said, "Oh, an Israeli flag?" So I said, "No, it's got a Mashiach flag." He said, "Oh, that's even better." I said, "Oh, you're welcome to my house." I said, "You're welcome to my house. Come in, I'll give you a coffee." So he came in. He was talking to me on the. So he came in. A bald-headed guy with an earring in his, a little sort of a diamond in his ear, and it didn't look totally not religious, But a nice guy came in. So I said, "Do you want that coffee?" He said, "I can't. I would like to have it, but I'm going crazy. I have a million things to do. Look at this list I've taken. I gotta go. I haven't got 1 second. Just sign over here, please." So I figured, okay, listen. I said, "Would you like to put on tefillin?" I figured the guy for sure. I mean, he hasn't got time to drink a coffee. I told him the water is already hot. It's already hot. I'll just put it in there. Drink. I'll make a little coffee for you. It'll keep you awake. I said, "No, I haven't got not even 1 second." "No, I'll try. Want to put on tefillin?" I said, "Yeah."
Wow. Beautiful.
Sure. I couldn't believe it. He said, "Yeah, sure. For tefillin, I always have time." He took off his thing, he put on tefillin, we stayed for like 4 or 5 minutes. I said, "Thanks a lot." She gave me a handshake.
Beautiful.
I said, "Come every day." He laughed. Then afterwards came to my house 2 people, the same person that added on to my house. They're working with him. They wanted to build it. So the guy called me up and he said, "Listen, we want to see his work." So I said, "Sure, come over." So they came over. A man and his wife, not religious people. You could see that they weren't religious people. Really nice people. Really, he said he's 74 and she's 60-something, and they're building a house for their old age. So I said, "You got a long time to wait for your old age." And you see the guy was healthy and this. So they're very nice. I took them around, and they were very thankful, and they thanked a lot and everything. They saw everything. We talked a little bit. And I said, "And now, you're in Kar Chabad, put on tefillin." So he looked at his wife. He said, "Okay, good." He said, "Yeah, sure, put on tefillin." So his wife said, "Yankel, this is the first time you've ever put on tefillin in your life, isn't it?"
What?
So he said, No. I think I'm almost sure I put on my bar mitzvah." I said, "I'll put on this." The guy's 74. Another 61 years ago, he thinks he put on tefillin. He also remembers that. He said, No, I think I put on my bar mitzvah." But he put on tefillin. He said to me, "Listen, I have no idea what to do. You have to tell me what to do." But he put on, "No problem." He didn't say, "All right, okay, we're here. I guess I really rather not, but all right, you've been so nice to me." He didn't say anything like that. He said, "Okay."
Nobody proposed to him before.
Yeah. Nobody proposed to him, right? Interesting, isn't it? So that's like Shtus de Kedusha. By me, it's already not so much Shtus de Kedusha because I do it all the time. But it's like in crazy holiness. You don't go to a person and say, "Let's put on tefillin." Excuse me. You say, "Would you like to, have a sandwich, we can have a cookie, then you offer a person that you have a person put on tefillin. "Would you like to be religious with me? Come and pray in my prayer room."
People have that.
Yeah, sure, of course. "Would you like to repent, sir? I see it's on your face. You want to repent?" Come on, nuts. Who's going to do it with it? Putting on tefillin is more nuts. What is he putting on these 2 boxes on his arm, on his head? What's the point? At least repenting has some psychological meaning to it or something. I'm putting on 2 boxes. What does that mean? The guy's not religious. Sure, no problem. He didn't do it for me. He did it because he was, religious thing, a nice kind of a Jew,
And it's an inconvenience.
An inconvenience, yeah. He has to take off his thing, he has to put it on. He could have said, "No, I'll do it later. Thank you very much, but I don't." There's a lot of people that say that. "Oh, I don't want to." The guy, the miracles of people that say they do, that's called Shtus de Kedusha. It's called craziness of holiness. Who would ever dream that that's what Jews want to do? Who would dream of such a thing? Right? Who would dream? The Rebbe of Lubavitch. The Rebbe of Lubavitch understood that Jews want to put on tefillin. And the interesting thing is the other groups, They're wonderful people, Satmar and Bells and Gur, and they help other people, and they have wonderful, ideas, they'll see you putting on tefillin on people, they'll say, Yeshua, good, you're doing a good job. But they'll never do it themselves. And they know it's good, and they're wonderful people, they want to help other Jews, but they'll never ever go up to a Jew and put on, because it's crazy. It's not because they're not nice people, they are nice people. It's not because they're not brave, they're brave, and they're Jews, and but they're just crazy. When you go up to another Jew and say, put on tefillin.
I went through it myself. I went through it myself. Somebody put a tefillin on me and this and that stuff like that. But the halacha says if you don't, after so many years, the halacha says if you didn't do Netilas Yadayim, the person cannot put it. He wouldn't wash hands.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, but you can. If you didn't put on, if you're in a place where you haven't put on tefillin yet, you didn't wash your hands, right, and it's getting near the end of the day, you put on tefillin.
Yeah, so there was a lot of noise and all the Rebbe said that how I can do this, people don't know.
Oh, it's stupid, they don't know the law.
Yeah, so but the Rebbe saw that that's
the Rebbe once said, when he started putting on tefillin, I want to finish the matter, the Rebbe once said, he started the Musa tefillin, and there came out a group that was very against it, like 3 or 4 months afterwards. And the Rebbe made a whole speech about it, and he said, I'm very happy these people came out against it, because it's gone several months, and nobody said anything. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. He says, whenever you do something in holiness, there has to be opposition. There has to be opposition. There was no opposition whatsoever. I tried to check and think, what's wrong with what I'm doing? Maybe there's something. Now these people came out. So the Rebbe came out with this. It's one of the sikhs, like 10 reasons why you should go around and put tefillin on people. Right? Well, he said all the arguments that people have against it, and why it's to knock down all these arguments. One of the best ones is that it says that if a Jew never put on tefillin, there's a special level of after a person dies that it's hard for him to go into heaven. And if he puts on tefillin once, it's called karkafta denominat tefillin. A skull that never had tefillin on it, it's a different level. So if a person put on once, it takes him out of that. And I've heard people, when I lived in Bnei Brak, and that's what they were against the Rebbe for. They said, these people, they don't do any mitzvahs, they're not doing anything, they take a non-religious person, and the person's supposed to burn in hell. He's supposed to burn in hell. And the Rebbe of Lubavitch comes and puts on tefillin one time on him, and he makes it so he doesn't burn in hell. This is not fair. Here I'm doing this my whole life, right? And this guy's going to be in the same place as me.
But forgot to decide.
It's like that they say, there's a book that's called Sefer Mitzvahs Katan, and it talks about mitzvahs, commandments of your heart. One of them is you're not supposed to have jealousy, and not supposed to have hatred. He says, which is worse, hatred and jealousy? Hatred and jealousy, which is worse? So he says, once hatred and jealousy had an argument. They were arguing all the time. God came to them and said, you fellas are arguing all the time, you're driving me crazy. I'll tell you what, I'll give you anything you want. Just stop arguing. Oh, it's good, anything we want. He says, but on one condition, the one that asks first only gets half as much as the one that asks. The one that asks first, only gets half as much as the one that asks second. Right? The one that asks first only gets half as much. The guy who has a little patience, he can ask second, he gets twice as much.
They keep quiet.
So the one jealousy, he raised up his hand, he said, I'll ask first. So the one of hatred said, oh, this guy hasn't got any patience, he says, okay. The guy said, what do you want? He says, I want you to take out one of my eyes.
Right.
So the other guy gets twice as much. He's willing to lose one eye just to see with the other eye that that guy lost 2 eyes.
That's incredible.
That's jealousy. I got one eye left, that's what I want to see with the other. Because people can't stand to see that somebody else has more than them. It's a disease, it's a disease. I haven't got the disease also, I also have it. I also have it, but at least I know it's stupid. I know it's stupid, so I think, okay, come on, what are you, a baby, come on. See, but there's one second, how do you get more than me? So what's the antidote to that? Having a good eye. You have a good eye. You say to the guy, he has a bigger house than me. You should have a house that's 20 times bigger. Baruch Hashem, on the house that I have a room, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Let's go. Says the Rebbe that what people forget about the main thing. What do they forget about? They forget about learning Torah. They forget about prayer, or they don't put any importance to it.
We're like 5 lines below that.
Yeah, here we go. Ve'eich. Let's do it First line, the first word line is B'midrash Rabbah.
The midrash, right?
Base, Mem, Daled, Resh. See where? You have it?
That's 3 lines.
We'll repeat
more.
it, right?
Alright.
Yeah, we'll do it quickly. Ein Adam, a person cannot, Sholet, rule, Lomar, and say. You have the place, Gabriel. Rule and say.
Yeah, rules.
Hamtinu, wait, leave for me. Ad, until. She'eseh, I will make. Cheshbonotai, my calculations, my, how do you say, my accounting. Ad, until. She'atzaveh, I will command. Lebesi, my household. In other words, when the angel of death comes to a person can't say, oh, just 1 second, hold on 1 second, right, I want to make my house, I want to, right, hold off with the heart attack a second, just 1 second, look at this, right. People don't have any of that. You know, they say that the angel of death came to God, and he said, listen, do me a favor, give me another job, I don't want this job. God said, why? He said, because everybody's going to hate me, they'll all hate me. Nobody's going to have a good word to say. Angel of death. God said, don't worry, nobody's going to even think about you at all. They're not going to think about you. They're going to say, what killed this guy? A car crash killed him, a heart attack killed him, a disease killed him, this killed him, a war killed him. They're not going to say the angel of death. People don't link things up with the angel of death. They say nature, everything is natural.
Wow.
Except for the Holocaust. Except for the Holocaust. That's what I said. The Holocaust, God made the Holocaust. God made the Holocaust. The Holocaust was made by God. That was the only thing God did. God doesn't create people, He doesn't create the world, doesn't give everybody food. He doesn't do that. What does He do? Makes the Holocaust. That's all He does. We have to...
Oh, I see.
Sure.
Because it's, people cannot rationalize it, that's why they have the only option.
I'm not trying to rationalize it either. I'm just saying that the same way a person blames God for the Holocaust, the bad things, which is true, you should also say good things for them. Where did all these people come from that got
They're in
killed?
their own mind.
All the people that got killed, where did they come from? They were all created by God.
Exactly.
They're all kept alive by God. Where do we come from? From God. So we should think about the bad things, for sure. Bad things should make us feel bad. We should also think about the good things. Why only think about the bad things?
It's a healthy mind.
If we would think about the good things also, right, then we would at least say, okay, listen, it's true, terrible things happen, and we have big arguments with you, God, and it's not right what you did, and it's 100% not fair. And that these people were, you know,
Because
Father doesn't kill his own children.
Ego.
You can't, how can it be like that? But on the other hand, there you're keeping us alive. There's some good things also that happen.
Ego.
But the person doesn't have time to say, if so, how? We see that life is very, very temporal. The and how? Yitain, can he put, call nafsho, his whole soul, on davar, a thing, she'en, that there is not bo in it, mamish, any, how do you say, reality, klal at all. How can people put all of their mind on what everybody thinks about me and how big my house is, and this is the main thing of life. These are important things, nothing wrong with it. But that's the main thing of life. Right? If everybody doesn't like me, then I'm not a good person. If I don't have a bigger house than everybody else, I live in a different neighborhood, then I'm a loser. I'm a failure.
A little bit.
People tell me that I'm a failure, so I'm a failure. That means I'm a failure. You have guys like, there was cases, Vincent van Gogh. Van Gogh never sold a picture in his life. Never sold a picture in his life. So therefore, that's it.
You never sold a picture in his life?
Never sold a picture in his life.
I wasn't in his museum.
I heard from some expert who was saying that never sold one picture in his whole life. He made pictures on cardboard and on this. He had to draw pictures. He had pictures on it. Then he became depressed. He became this. And he killed himself in the end. That's what. Now his pictures go for $100 million a piece. You know. So if he loved painting, so he loved painting. Good, it's true. Everybody rejected it. Right? They rejected it. It's a bad feeling. So you find something good. You find something that well, you have to be miserable also. It's like the lady with the Madoff. It's bad enough that everybody doesn't like me. I have also not like myself. Find some. Right? I have to be among them. It's like somebody said that the Israeli government, the whole world hates the Jews. They just decided to join them. The main thing, that which was hakavana, the intention. Biuridas, and the descent. First word on the line. You with me, Gabriel?
So.
First word on the line. Biuridas, you have it?
Yeah, descent.
In the descent. Nishmaso of the soul. Lomata, below. And that which is soul came down into the world in the first place, and why it's coming down every second. Who he shocheach, forgets Legani completely. He totally forgets. There's a speaker in Israel, a very famous speaker called Rabbi Yecheskel Sofer, excellent speaker, Yecheskel Sofer. And he says, he gives the example of an astronaut. I told you this before, an astronaut, that the whole world, international effort, they spend $15 trillion. They find an astronaut, the most intelligent, the most brave, the most loyal, the most people loyal to all mankind. They put him in a rocket ship. They train him for years. He's going to do these things. They shoot him at the speed of light. Who knows? Whatever he gets to, right? They're going to shoot him out to the Uranus, to see what's going on. They shoot him out. They've been training. The whole world is watching him. They shoot him out. They say, "Okay, now astronaut, base to astronaut. You hear me? Yes, I hear you. Okay, let's do." Now, experiment number 1. He said, forget it. Excuse me. Hello. Base to astronaut, do you hear me? He says, I hear you. I've been hearing you for the last 3 years. You guys have been driving me crazy. And I've been taking enough orders. From now on, I'm giving the orders. You can't do that. I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm separate. Here I am. So, but it's a world effort. An international world effort. Your problem, not my problem. See, oh, there's a nice star over there. See you guys. That's it. Right? Watch this. Cameras, watch this. Watch this, Ma. What's this, Ma? You can't do this. Stop it. You're doing this, destroying everything. This is I'm having a great time. I advise everyone down there to do the same thing. Come and join me. Right? It's the same thing. What does God do? God sends a person down into the world. He has a tremendous job, tremendous responsibility. He gets into the world and he says, that's it. now I'm the boss. I'm going to do what I want. God says, but you can't do that. I mean, you're a soul. You've been trained. You've been prepared for thousands of years. So that's right. For thousands of years you've been telling me what to do. Now I have free will. I'm calling the shots now.
Wow.
Right? I'm the astronaut, the free astronaut. Rebel without a cause. Rebel without a cause. But who, and it is, rak only haruach shtus, mitzad, because of haruach shtus, the spirit of its craziness, shemechaseh, that covers. Okay? Al an, you with me, Gabriel? See it? Al an, I the truth. If so, people come into the world and they totally forget about why they're here. They totally forget about why they're here. And that's why young people, they rebel and this because they don't know why they're here. What am I doing here? What am I in the world for? What am I supposed to do? All of a sudden they find out that, hey, I know what to do. I can do whatever I want.
My own pleasure.
Right? My own pleasure. He does this, he does it. He has to learn this. It's hard. You have to go to learn what to do. You have to know what's right and what's wrong. All of a sudden he takes a drug. Hey, I'm a success. I'm a success. Look at this. I took this little smell. I took this little thing. And it works. I'm a success. No one can stop me now. Right? No one can stop me. You can tell me that I succeeded. Here I am. Right? And everything else, you want to be a scientist, you want to be a doctor, maybe you might fail. Maybe you might not. You have to work hard. Maybe you won't make it. You know, you take a little like that, a smell. That's it. I succeeded. I made it. I didn't have to work. What's the song? Teacher, leave the kids alone. Don't teach them. Let them do what they want. Huh? Yeah. Let them do what they want. It's insane, you understand? But then the teachers, they were taught the same thing. They don't know what to teach. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. The kid thinks there's no right and there's no wrong. Like, they can do whatever I want to. Like, one thing is don't get caught, don't get the disease, don't limit your free choice. All of a sudden everything becomes crazy. There's nothing good, there's nothing bad.
Then you don't get any pudding.
That's why you get in the world, for instance, today, neo-Nazism is much more popular than Judaism. Neo-Nazi, what did the Nazis do? They killed, they destroyed, they raped. That's good. Oh, that's not bad. It's okay. Right? What do the Jews do? They don't even know themselves. Right? What are they supposed to do? They have the Bible, it limits you. You can't do this, can't do that. Who needs it? Right? Medieval, even worse. Right? Be free, do what you want. Free like the wind. Hine, behold. Zos tiyeh. If so, what's the problem? What's the problem? Problem is there's no meaning. A life like that is a meaningless life.
Lack of education.
Lack of education, lack of meaning, lack of examples. The Rebbe is saying we have to be the example. The Jewish people are chosen to show the world that there is meaning, there is responsibility. To show the world that we're here for a purpose. Every person is very important. Hine, behold, Zos, this, Tihiyah will be, Avodah, so your service. This is why you're here in the world. This is your job. Lahafoch, write down. Lahafoch, see where you have the place? Gabriel. You should write it. Hine, behold, Zot, this, Tihiyah will be, Avodah, so your job. Lahafoch, to transform. Shtus, craziness. Zeh, this craziness. De olam, of the world. V'ya'amod, and they say control. Ya'amod is not a good word to control. Let's see, what's a better word for Ya'amod? Ya'amod means Ya'amod means take responsibility. Ya'amod, take responsibility. Al nafsho, for your soul. Take responsibility for your soul. V'yikva, and set. Low, for yourself. Very simple. We're not saying do big things. You don't have to change the whole world. Make revolutions in the streets. Yikva, set. Low, for yourself. Eating times. The Torah for Torah. Very simple. Find times to learn Torah. You learn the Torah first of all will teach you what to do. The second of all, the Torah has in it power. The Torah is godliness. It goes into your mind. The ideas in your mind are godly ideas. It's not just our heritage and very intelligent and our history. That's also true. But it's in something infinite there. These are godly ideas. Look in the 5th chapter of the Tanya, explains. Something about the Torah. Every time you learn Torah, it's something like a little bit the time that God gave the Torah Mount Sinai. Everybody's souls jumped out of their bodies. It was an infinite experience. It was like being in the Holy of Holies. Every time you learn Torah, set a time for learning Torah every day. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour. Right? You'll find you can learn more than you think. You have more time. When you do that, it makes you into a different person. Suddenly you realize that there's a purpose in the world, that you're not alone, that you have a job, that life is much bigger and better than you think, and that you yourself are better than you think. Suddenly you realize that you're a Jew. You have a message to give to the world. Va'az, then, hine, behold, v'shachanti b'socham, I will dwell inside of them. I will dwell inside of them. And if you find that it's hard for you to sit and learn Torah, so pray to God that you'll have time to learn Torah. You'll be able to sit, you'll find somebody to learn with you. Sheya'ir, they will shine low for him. Gilui, revealed. Or Eloki, light of God, benafsho, in his soul.
Gilui is revelation.
Revelation of God in his soul. V'zehu, and this is, quote, kad, when, eskafia, there is forced, sitra achra, the other side. What do we say? That when sitra achra, the other side, is forced or is controlled, and the glory of God spreads out through the whole world. She'al, you did it by means of. Shepoil, that he causes. Lahafoch, to transform. Po, that he causes. Lahafoch, transformation. Transforming. The shtut, craziness. The nefesh abamis of the animal soul. And dem koch, the excitement.
Koch is
Koch means the boiling.
boiling.
Like to cook. Koch, right.
And it's Yiddish or Hebrew? No?
Yiddish. And dem, the koch, the heat, the, how do you say, the excitement. Fun, from. Welt, from the world. El, to. Hakadusha, holiness. Bekiyum, doing. Torah and mitzvot. When you transform the excitement that you get from the world to excitement for doing Torah and mitzvahs, in other words, you should have money, and you should have a car, and you should have a job, and you should have a big house, you should have all these things. But that's not where your excitement should be. Your excitement should be in learning Torah and mitzvahs. Or if you are excited about your house and your car, you should be at least more excited about Torah and mitzvahs. That should be the main thing. But as then, when you do that, Estalek, this spreads out. Yekora, the glory, to Kodesh Baruch Hu, of God. Bakulahu, and all. Almin, the worlds. What does it mean in all the worlds, like we explained before? Shemeir, that there shines. Umizgala, and is revealed. Or the light. Sove, that surrounds, called Olmim, all the worlds. In other words, the light of the Creator. Suddenly the world starts feeling that there's a Creator, and everything feels its purpose. This is what a Jew can do in the world, can make the world a meaningful place.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes?
What's the difference between the word Galus, exile, and Galus, religion?
No, there is not. The word galus means, the word galut means exile, right? The galot, the galot is a verb, first of all. Revelation is hit galut. Hit galut. One is galut is a word, and galot is a verb. It's a thing. It's spelled the same way. Spelled the same way. There's a lot of words in English also the same thing. What's it called? A homonym?
But in Hebrew,
Close and close. Close the door and come close.
Right.
Is one. There's other words also that are like that. Yeah. Okay. Is revealed, so we call him. Spelled the same way. Just because it's spelled the same way doesn't mean. Okay. Kitzer. Yeva'er was explained. What's the Rebbe saying over here? Let's take it. What was the Holy Temple? The Holy Temple was a building. It was a building, like there's how many buildings there are in the world? Millions of buildings. The Holy Temple is going to be a different type of a building. What's the type of building? It's going to be a building where you can go and you can see that there's God. You can see and feel that there's a creator to the universe. You can see that God is creating, the same God that created the universe is the same God who took the Jews out of Egypt and gave us the Torah. So you start to feel that there's a reason for the universe, there's a purpose, there's a law, God cares, God is close, God is creating us every second. That same God gave us the Torah as the instruction book for the world. That's what the Beit HaMikdash was. The Holy Temple was a building where on the outside they made sacrifices. The inside was the Torah, was the tablets that God gave on Mount Sinai. So that's the essence of the world, is the Torah and the laws of the Torah. It's not just a book, not just a religion book, not just a book of rituals. Right? It's not just a book of customs and heritage. It's all those things, of course it is. But that's just small change. That's just external. The main thing is it's right. It's like the person saying about his father, that his father is intelligent, his father is handsome, and his father was this. Those are all external things. The main thing, it's my father. Right? It doesn't make any difference how he was or what he was. It's something deep. The same thing is with God. The main thing of God is He keeps us alive. But that's only the external. The inside is why He's keeping us alive. Why? Right? To be alive is nice. To be happy that you're alive. To feel you have a purpose. To feel you have a job. That was the Beit HaMikdash. The Beit HaMikdash was a place that showed that God has created the whole world. We're talking about not just the Jews. He's creating all the non-Jews. He's creating all the animals. He's creating all the stars, the planets. Everything is being created for a purpose. But it's being created, the purpose, who finds this purpose is man. And that's the job of the Jews. The job of the Jews is to make themselves into the holy temple so that we can benefit all mankind. We can tell every person in the world why they're being created and why they're unique and what their job is and to be positive about it. And everybody has to find it on their own. Right? But we can guide them. At least we can give them, to let them know that the framework that you're working in is not communism, and it's not fascism, it's not democracy. Right? It's the Torah. The Torah is the framework for the whole world.
So it's off balance.
What's off balance?
You have 2 million Jews and 6 billion people.
It's even more off balance the number of houses there are in the world in the Beit HaMikdash. There's only one holy temple. There's billions and billions of buildings. Who knows how many there are in the world? They're much bigger.
But that's God. This is us.
Each Jew is also God. Each Jew is a miniature holy temple. So, in a way, it's more the relationship between the Jews and the rest of the world is
Like they just within
better than the relationship between the holy temple and the rest of the world, the rest of the buildings.
But if that's the purpose, there should be more Jews.
Even one Jew would be enough. And so some people said to me, before they kicked the Israelis out of the Gaza Strip, they said, are you nuts? You know how many Jews there are living in the Gaza Strip? There's 7,000 or something. You know how many Arabs live there in the Gaza Strip? 1 million! You're going to make 1 million Arabs that suffer because of 7,000 Jews? First of all, who knows how much they're suffering now? They're happy now. They're shooting, there's not what to eat. But at least they're fighting, they have a cause. Anyway, I said to them, listen, what are you talking about 7,000 Jews? 7,000 Jews is a lot. He says, well, I thought it's a lot, but what about 1 million Arabs? I said, listen, God gave the whole land of Israel to one person, Abraham. One person. Now we're talking about the Gaza Strip. We're talking about the whole entire Israel, and the God said it's going to be much bigger than it is now. It's going to include parts of Syria and parts of Iran. It's supposed to go up to the Nile River, where to the
Egypt.
Egypt is good. To one person. We're not here 5,000, 7,000, a lot of people. 7,000 against 1 million. It's a bit better odds than one person against the whole world. Abraham. God gave it to the whole world. As long as you have one Jew, one holy temple. Right? That's why the Christians hate the Jews so much, because they know one Jew really exists, it knocks their whole religion out. Puts one little hole, right? You have a huge, big balloon, the Graf Zeppelin, the greatest thing, one little hole, psst, that's it. Get that guy out of here, he's got a pin. What are you worried about? It's a whole big Zeppelin, the thing is as big as a city block. Because one Jew shows that God is really creating everything. You don't have to go through a person or a spirit or something like that. It shows that the Torah is God's will. There's no new Bible. What are you talking about, new Bible? It's like somebody saying, I made up a new telephone book. A new telephone book about New York, a new telephone book. It's only got, I made up all the names, I made up all the numbers, I made up all the numbers. Right? What's the fact? But the fact is, that's not it. But yeah, but I saved money, No Lashon Hora. Can't talk to anybody, So here he's saying, we're talking over here about God. We're not talking here about religion. We're talking about religion. We're talking about God. God creates us. What a person is not willing to do for his soul. We're talking, what's the source of your soul? What's keeping you alive? Why God is creating the whole world? Is there a reason for creation? Jewish faith says yes. Jewish faith says not only that we can make the world a better world by letting people know that there's a creator.
So this thing.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Can I ask you a question? This is like it says in here that it's transforming darkness into light, right?
Yeah.
So is that a permanent thing? So which means in the future there'll be no more darkness?
Eventually, yes, there won't be.
Or is that when
That's the
Mashiach-
job of the Mashiach. The job of the Mashiach is that there won't be. Oh, yeah, it's late. The job of the Mashiach is there won't be. Let's just do the kids here. We explain. Shtus, I thought we would finish faster today. But okay, we explain. Shtus, the craziness, the hataya, and an inclination. Lamaila, that's above. Mitam, vadat, logic and reason, the kedusha of holiness. Ukamo and like.
It is, right?
Right. Ukamo and like. Hafshata's removing. Heritage, the feeling. Seichel, it's intelligence, vamidos and emotions. Be'ed at the time, a nevuah of prophecy. V'mishkan and the Mishkan, the tabernacle. Me'atze shitim was made from shitim wood. That's going to be the cure. What do you have to do? Because the purpose of the Mishkan of the temple was to be, I call it a prototype, an example of how we can, as hapcha, that's why it was from shitim wood, because we have to transform, as hapcha, transform. Shtut, the craziness. De l'umat zeh, of the opposite side, of the creation.
The Sitra Achra.
Huh?
The Sitra
The
Achra.
Sitra Achra. L'shtut, to craziness, the kedusha of holiness. Of the Creator, in other words. Ba'al derech zeh, and Ba'al derech zeh, and similarly, ba'avodat, in the service, the personal service, not only the way it was in the Holy Temple, but the personal service, call echad echad, each and every person. Okay, tomorrow.